I know Chris gave me one, and I have it somewhere. I'm looking for it. There's also a bunch in the story document. I know for the Chris gave me one, and I have it somewhere. I'm looking for it. There's also a bunch in the story document. I know for the Chris gave me one, and I have it somewhere. I'm looking for it. There's also a bunch in the story document. I know for the Chris gave me one, and I have it somewhere. I'm looking for it. There's also a bunch in the story document. I know for the Chris gave me one, and I have it somewhere. I'm looking for it. There's also a bunch in the
Holy crap, that was a mistake.
in the story document. I know for the Chris gave me one, and I have it somewhere. I'm looking for it. There's also a bunch in the
Okay, that was a mistake. Ask questions in Discord. Okay, that was a mistake. Ask questions in Discord. Okay, that was a mistake. Ask questions in Discord. Okay, that was a mistake. Ask questions in Discord. Okay, that was a mistake. Ask questions in Discord. Alright, I see that some of you guys are in now. I'm having a slight bit of a problem with the audio. It's reverbing. We'll see if that continues. I changed some settings, but hold on one sec. I'm going to stop and restart the stream. Okay, type something in the portfolio class. Oh, are you guys hanging out in, where are you guys hanging out at? Alright, let's see here. Let's go to the portfolio class, the Grouse Discord, and we'll go to the general artists one. So ask your questions in here. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to round out her legs. So it's making this sort of this tapering shape right here, which I'm not quite a fan of, but we may work it back in a little bit here. Oh, that was on the shorts. Where's the legs at? There's the legs. Okay. So since you went ahead and broke these all out into their own subtool, it's going to make it easy to adjust these. I'm going to be kind of aggressive in how I'm treating this form. Can be a little bit of pulling it back and forth. Oh yeah, don't worry about like the gaps and stuff. We're gonna close it up with Dynamesh, and we'll work from there. We'll let Dynamesh do some work for us. The main thing is that I just want to get these forms rounded out. So get these feet flat. So let's do that. Will mask everything. Masking the soul. Oops. I'm gonna take some mask out of there. Invert it. Actually, we're gonna need a little bit more masking on this here. Oops. Wrong key. And then we're gonna use the curve trim, the clip curve, yeah. Where do they put that? Should hopefully let me trim along the x-axis or the, yeah. No. Okay. Alright, so that's for masking. That'll work. Let's see here. Okay, I want to invert it. And now I want to trim. Trim curve, there it is. Okay. Let me get it to do what it's supposed to do, then I'll explain what this is doing. When the masking box is green, that's a visibility box. So basically anything that falls inside that box will be visible, anything outside of it will be hidden. Sorry, I forgot how to use this. Bear with me. Control Shift, right? Okay. Then Alt. No. Okay, we'll do that. I'm just trying to mask out the soul here. Come on. I should practice these brushes. Okay. Invert it. And now the trim. Oh, that one's the delete. Okay, let's see. Maybe it was clip curve or something. Ah, yeah, clip curve. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Okay, so I'm going to clip. I'm going to make everything snap to where this line is that I drew. If I press Alt, should. No. Sorry, its brushes are a little finicky. Oh, thank you. Sorry, I know this is not very good instruction when I'm failing over and over on it, but I have not used this brush in a while. What it's going to do, though, is when I actually do get it to work, it's going to take every unmasked polygon and it's going to move it so that it lines up with where this curve is. So if I draw this curve here, they go there. Okay, there. Okay, this will do it now. I was doing the mask version. There we go. Okay. So you see how it's now flat? Right, great. All right, so now I'm going to take the H polish brush, and I'm going to hit the bottom of this sole right here, like that. Then I'm going to hit this right here. Oh, it's not going to work. Okay, well, we're going to skip those for now, but the soles are flat on the ground, which is a start. Oh, except for this over here. Wow, it didn't do it at all over here. What's going on? Okay. Oh, the polish did. Okay, we're going to leave it like that. Okay, so now that we got that, the legs are a little rounder. Let's tackle something on the shorts. So I'm not gonna when I'm sculpting, I like to try to work everything up to sort of the same level. I don't wanna take one area and like absolutely polish out in final detail the shoes before anything else is done. You want to work everything up together in sort of the same speed. So to start with, I'm just gonna smooth this down a little bit. All right, and then I'm gonna redynamesh it to close the hole. No blur. Yep, see that? The hole's closed up. Perfect. All right. Now I'll do some polish. Or should I do some features on it first? Yeah, let's get the dam standard and pull out the creases on the shorts a little bit. To up that and increase the lazy mouse. I'm surprised the lazy mouse isn't actually enabled by default. Go. Let's do it a little bit more. Oops, lost my Dynamesh. Undid too much. Go forward. There we go. All right, right there. It's a little bit pinchy there at the top, but we're still gonna sculpt it a lot. We'll polish it. And these are cutoffs anyway. We want a little bit of texture. All right. Polish by features. Boom. And again. Polish crisp edges. Okay. Can you throw up the hen picture in the general chat here for the reference? Thanks. Move some more form on these shoes here. Jeez. Butterfingers tonight. Smooth is a little intense. I'm going to drop it down. Go back to the dam standard. What is this about? Not asked for that. Stroke, okay. All right. Okay, so in that picture, okay, I noticed that her shorts are way up higher and her legs are way beefier. So we're gonna go with that. Make room for these legs. And we're gonna take a guess at what they're gonna look like back here. I'm gonna guess she's got some chicken booty. All right, let's think about busting these shoes off. Oops. Well, Angela can do whatever she wants, but for the demo, I'm sticking to the concept art because I am a slave to the concept. Give me back the Gonna extract these out. All right. Rename. Cannot see it. There it is. Sorry, everything has got slightly different look to it over 4R7, so I am still kind of stumbling around, wondering what I'm looking at half the time, just because everything's not exactly the same. Okay, smooth that down. This is gonna let me work her legs a little bit more directly. What? Oh. It's undo history getting me. Okay. Alright, let's get meaty here. So I'll turn this on so you can see how I'm smoothing it so that I'll undo a few steps there. So you see how these are all stretched out like this? I'll stretch these out too. These polygons are very evenly spaced and these are very unevenly spaced. By choosing where I smooth, I can get a better spread on the polygons. Once again, like I'm going to try and think about the roundness of the legs that I want right now. I'm going to go back to the shorts real quick and move these in there a little bit to give me a little more space for the thighs. Come on. There we go. Now when I hit smooth here, you see how the points are all traveling up. Trying to smooth out there. That'll let me sculpt a little bit more with the existing geometry before I dynamesh. and I'm going to polish down any existence of these shoes here. There we go. Bigger brush. So my focal shift is at 27. That back to 0. All right. Okay, so I think her legs may actually need to be a little bit longer too for this design. So, oh no, give me back my transpose. Okay, cool. So I'll mask out there. Draw. Do a move instead. Uh-oh. Something. Why was that masked? Interesting. Okay. What does he not like? Oh, yeah. Apparently my son's not a fan of chocolate. It's making him cry. Back to move. Okay. Right, that gives me a little bit more room to actually make some of the forms that I see. Of course, that got stretched out a little bit, but that's not a big deal. Fix that. Real easy. Alright. Smooth it. Alright, let's see here. I think it may be time to actually start laying clay down. Alright, let's do it. Clay tubes. Whoa, what was this? That was new. Clay tubes. There we go. What the? There we go. Clear mask. And some meat out there. Lower that intensity on smooth again. Time for some chicken butt. So did you reference the People of Walmart site when you were designing this character? Uh, reference the site People of Walmart. Yes, that site is pure gold. There was some video on Poll the other day of a bunch of people at Walmart on those riding scooters, and they got stuck trying to get out the door. Like their sides were too big. They were on riding scooters, and they had so many rolls just hanging off the sides. They got stuck trying to get out. It was funny. I haven't seen anything that funny in a while. And then like the first lady got stuck, and then the dude behind her, he's also in a riding scooter, and he is really fat. He like ran up and like rammed her trying to get through. Just like, yeah, it's probably not gonna work. Walmart. So I'm trying to taper the form down a little bit as I'm sculpting it. Oh, I bet the Anaheim Walmart is a true travesty. Like there's one Walmart nearby, and like seriously, 99% of the crime in Aliso Viejo happens at that Walmart. Otherwise, it's a pretty quiet town. Ooh, Walmart late at night in Anaheim. I can only imagine. So I'm gonna soft polish this. BSS. There we go. Gonna turn up the intensity. I need to start using those right-click menus again that I was talking about. Need more geometry. Divide. There we go. All right. It's getting smoother, slowly. Alright, so with this stretching right here, I'm going to have to Dynamesh this out. This isn't going to get better by just continually dividing it, so we're going to have to definitely Dynamesh it. No, get rid of them. There we go. Alright. Let's see, how dense is that? That's way too dense. I'm going to undo that. And I'm going to lower the resolution a lot. No, I don't care about this. Okay, yeah, that's a lot better though. Honestly, we could go even lower, especially at this stage. Might as well delete the lower so it stops asking me that question. $32. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Yeah, that'll make it a lot easier to work with and get the desired form. Okay, so I want to try and create a good foot arch. Alright. That back. So the one thing that I'm noticing too is, at least from the sizes, I'm kind of seeing a good definition of a calf. So let's set that up to happen. So we're going to, oh no, okay, so my Dynamesh put holes in this, so I'm going to undo, go back to the, so I was too low res. So I need to be aware of that. Go back down. Alright. That doesn't have holes. Or does it? No, those aren't holes. Okay, so what Dynamesh does is it basically voxelizes the whole mesh, and then it projects a grid from each axis, positive and negative, and stitches those grids together. So like if you look at this, you can actually see how there's like this radial pattern to the quads. That's because it's like shooting grids down it that are sliced and then stitched together. And if it's too low resolution and it encounters an area that's too complex for the resolution, it winds up not being able to stitch it, and so it leaves a hole. So you basically, the only way out of that is to either reduce the complexity of the mesh before you Dynamesh it, or increase the resolution of the Dynamesh. Alright, let's get those. Alright, so that's too much heel, I think, yeah. Alright, butt lift, so we have more room for calf. Spends her welfare checks on plastic surgery. Alright, I'm going to use a clay build-up, see if I can fill these holes in. Sort of. Take a look at these. Ah! They're polygroup related. I'll just blow away polygroups when I do the next Dynamesh, and won't worry about them anymore. Alright, so calf, which means we gotta have hamstring. Slight indication for hamstring. The legs are a separate mesh. I separated them out. Then we'll just do calf over there. Once again, like working across the form to make it round. Working the length of the form. So let's make our like rap video material here. She should have a twerk attack. Down the length. And then across. And we're gonna, don't worry, we'll reduce this. That's getting out of control. So it'll take a while to get the shape on this right. So these larger, really complex, rounded forms that are kind of joining into each other, this is actually going to be a pretty complex little mesh to get right. Let's see. Oh, let's see here. How is the from the front? Okay, so kind of loops down like that. Should probably give an indication for where the knee is as well. Alright. Now we need to join this up here with a little bit of like hamstring information. What's going on there? Oh geez, whenever I smooth, that's going all crazy. Alright, so what we'll do is I will do another Dynamesh. Multi-group. I'll group this into its own thing. And then Dynamesh it. Yeah, well, you can tell them it's for school. Oh, damn it, I got the holes again. This will take a while to get right. This is actually a tough model, like Angela. I don't know if you realized it when you chose this as your first one, but you chose a pretty tough one. Alright, there we go. Round that out a little better. Yeah. Yeah, this is a challenge for sure. It's a good one though. This is like I was telling Tyler, like a lot of the fun in this game is gonna be the humor, right? So one thing is that you know Chris added a lot to the game with his humorous dialogue, and this is gonna add a lot of fun to the game with you know redneck people of Walmart type references, right? It's gonna make it a little bit more fun. 'Cause you can't be too serious. Can't be too serious at all. Alright, so I'm thinking I want to really make this a lot thinner. I may wind up needing to make the legs longer. So one thing that you guys will find out when you're working from concepts is that two-dimensional concepts often cheat. They cheat 3 dimensions, but like why wouldn't you, right? You're working in 2 dimensions. Why make it hard on yourself? And they don't necessarily work out that great in 3 dimensions. So this is really challenging. Like I keep flattening this out. I'm gonna have to come back to that. Gonna have to round that out with sculpting, I think, not just move brush. All right. Let's see here. All right. So to make a mask softer, you can just press Shift, Control Shift. No, I lied. Maybe just Control. Yeah, you just press Control on the mask, and I think let's see. Yeah, if you press Control Alt and click the mask, it will sharpen it, and Control will soften it. So I'm gonna scale this in. That was a bad placement. Okay, gotta redo that over. I'm gonna try and just scale this whole ankle in. Invert. If there's anything that you see me do that you want to understand better, go ahead and ask. I see your questions pretty much right when you ask them. Alright, so there we go. We got nice tiny ankles now. Now I need to work on rounding them out. Yeah, sculpting booty is honestly like it's one of the unspoken joys in life. Alright, so I'm using clay tubes to pull out this flat plane that just keeps flattening out on me. I want to try and get an Achilles tendon reference right here. Like even though they're chickens, like these are highly anthropomorphized birds, you know, so their anatomy honestly lends more towards people than it does birds. All right, so the other thing is that I want to really get more of the volume on this side. There we go. That's a little more of the chicken side of the anatomy. Starting to get a good undershadow there. Let's change the lighting up a little bit. Alright, that's pretty good. Looking alright. Shorts are obviously going to really need a lot of work too after this. I actually think that this might be one of the best models, most fun models to work on for this project. Congratulations, Angela. Have to do something more in there. Polish this down with soft polish. There we go. So one thing to work on with ZBrush in general is like I mentioned this in Andre's stream, but is be really deliberate about your strokes. Don't scribble, right? Always be moving around the form and treating the form with care and respect on every single stroke. Even when if you're trying to move fast, it goes quicker if you're slow and deliberate. You'll get where you want to go a lot quicker. Flattening down a little bit just to kind of give a little indication of a toe. I'm not going to spend too much time on the feet because they're going to be in slippers. I might just pull shorts down over that, whatever's happening right there. I can't get rid of that. Smooth that out. I think we'll probably be able to put more thickness in the booty, but before I focus on that too much more, I want to work other parts of the model. So let's see here. Scrolling up a little bit to our bird again. All right. Let's work on the torso. All right. So let's just start out by moving things around. So how dense is this model? Pretty dense, actually. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to really lower the density on this. Did that lower it? Not sure it did. It did a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay. So, we've got actually three really, four, like really big rounded forms that are all going to be intersecting here. So we've got the bust, the second chin, and the stomach. These are all really round forms that are going to be overlapping with each other, and so we really want to establish that hierarchy real clearly. Oops. So, let's start with the stomach. So I'm going to mask out anything that's not going to be a part of the stomach here. We'll change the relationship with the clothing items later. But I just want to focus on. Oh, whoa, my symmetry's gone. Let's undo. Reestablish the symmetry. And make that its own poly group. There we go. So I just control clicked it and that hit everything that wasn't this poly group. So I can just focus on making this stomach as powerful as it can be. And I might, if I go too far on these things, like that's okay, you know. I mostly just want to show you guys like how to work with ZBrush. You don't have to take these as art direction per se, but like it's great if you do, if I do something that you really like. But I'm really just trying to stick to your concepts. I'm gonna really increase the intensity on this smooth. There we go. All right. I'm gonna try polishing this. There, that cleaned up a little bit. All right. Now the bust. The shorts have kind of disappeared. We'll have to go back and really revisit that. What's that? Yeah, orange. Yeah, it's like a fashion now. Shorts? What shorts? It's too hot to be wearing shorts. Alright, so one thing that's going to be really hard to do is you'll find that like sculpting breasts is like probably one of the like hardest things in the world. Heads are easy compared to breasts. Yeah, her butt does consume the shorts for sure. Alright, so we are getting. Alright, so let's see here. Gonna have to start getting some of the more. Losing a lot of the information as far as the sternum. Okay, yeah, well, this will just be a little bit of a back and forth, give and take. That's too much take. The black dahlia of chicken. Yeah, I might be pushing this too far, but like I like to really exaggerate things. I think I just found in my own artistic development that things go better for me personally if I push them to their extremes first and then dial in the subtlety. Where I run into trouble as an artist is when I try to be subtle from the get-go. Alright, so yeah, check this out. You see how this is like clearly overlapping this now? Like you can see that her breasts are definitely hanging down on top of her belly. That's good. That looks really three-dimensional, right? reads very clearly what's going on there. Alright, so in the interest of time, I'm going to... There's a lot more that can be done with the breast. It's like, seriously, I honestly think you could teach a class on proper torso sculpting. But we're going to go on to the arms. Alright. Arms are tough too, but not as tough as breasts. Wow, this is still really dense. Can make it work though. So the main thing that I see in these arms is that there's not a lot of change in form across the length of them. I also worry about their overall length, but I'm not going to touch that right now. So I'm going to start with, like looking at the concept art, I see a nice clean forearm. Actually, I lied. I am definitely going to change the length of these arms right now. Come on. There we go. Oops, what happened there? That didn't get masked for some reason. Okay. Just draw the mask. Stop trying to be fancy. Oh, what happened there? Back my pen. That would have been fast if I just did that to begin with. Alright. Hold on, checking Discord real fast. Which tool are you talking about? The line thing? That's a brush called the curve brush. So if you press Control and you go to freehand, you get curves, right? So and you can a lot of brushes can do curves. So move cannot. Let's see here. Can clay buildup? No, clay buildup can't. Not every brush can do it, but there's a lot that can. So masking brushes can. So when I press Control and I get my mask pen, I get an option for a curve, which the curve is really good for getting obviously any kind of curved selection or stroke. We're just gonna pull it out like that, and we get arm rolls for free. Just kidding. What the heck's going on there? Symmetry. All right. Let's aggressively smooth that. Alright, now we're gonna aggressively move things around. So first thing I want to do is I want to indicate like a little elbow area. This is all going to get sculpted pretty heavily here. Alright. Let's add some nice roundness to the back as well. Alright. I may have been too aggressive for the time frame, but let's see what happens. Clay tube. Alright. So I'm going to start out by cutting away a little bit more with the clay tube. Just cut under because even she will have armpits. So are you guys all like modeling just your designs to start? Okay, cool. That's good that you get that experience of working with other people's designs. So, when modeling a form like this, like I'm not taking the approach I took with Andres, where we model it like really ripped and then we soften it. I'm kind of trying to do them all at the same time. So instead of being really explicit with like oh, this is the tricep and this is the other head of the tricep and all that, I'm actually kind of like I'm grouping the forms together in my head, and then I'm making those strokes based on. So like you see how like I did the trapezius, but I was then looping it around here to pick up some of the fat deposits and rolls as I'm going here. Just kind of, smoothing is a little intense right now. Alright, let's get some of the forearm right. Okay, that's getting a little chunky already. So what part of the problem of sculpting on something that's so high res is you do get a very uneven surface very easily. So you have to take more care here. So like you see how this is reading really lumpy? I'm gonna have to go in here and I have to polish this down right away. Use this much smaller brush. And I'm using S polish. So if you find that you're having a hard time controlling the surface of your form, either switch to polish brushes or more easily just lower the resolution of the entire model. I'm not going to do that because I've got this bust and this gut will get fused together if I try to lower the resolution uh, of the Dynamesh. So this is actually a scenario where maybe I would be better off trying to remesh this using the Z remesher, so then I can then do subdivisions. But that's a more complicated workflow. Starting to walk between Dynamesh and hierarchical sub-Ds and all that. But you have a lot of freedom. You have a lot of power in how you tackle a problem in ZBrush. There's a lot of tools. Alright, I'm gonna get some more clay. Yeah, you see how rough that is? That just makes more work for me. If this were lower res, if I would have foreseen this a little bit more, I would have lowered the res even more. Okay, let's get our bicep in there. Okay, I'm gonna have to cut this down a lot. Getting chunky. Let's see how's that looking. Oh yeah, those are stressed polygons. Those are stressed polygons for sure. I'm gonna wind up having to Dynamesh this anyway, I think. I'll have to take a minute to think about the best strategy for that. I may actually have to break the bust and the gut into separate sub-tools for Dynameshing that. If I can't work my way out of this. But actually, you know, I zoom out on it, I think I do see a way out of this. Without having to Dynamesh right away. That would be nice. So I'm just kind of carving out a plane here, carving out some space for me to actually model some other arm forms. Whoops. So one thing I forgot to do on Andre's model that's been driving me crazy was doesn't matter how ripped you are or how flabby you are, you can always see the bottom part of, like, if you're looking at the arm from the front, the primary contributor to that form is going to be the tricep. And that's actually kind of what I'm adding in here right now. Leaving some space for the elbow. Go ahead and do that. It's really important that you get, like you may have heard them called bony landmarks. Always get the bony landmarks in there. It doesn't matter how fat your character is. Get those bony landmarks in there so that people can see them. It's one of those things that instantly tells people what they're looking at. They're great little communication devices. Just kind of indicating where I want those to be. They help me make other decisions later on. I have to move some things around. Oh yeah, also one thing is I'm not working in perspective mode. Don't work in perspective. It will screw up symmetry over time. It's okay to, like, every once in a while to check your model in perspective. In fact, it's a great thing to do. But don't work in it. Oops. So yeah, I'm leaving room right there for the elbow. wrapping some of those. I forget the name of the forearm muscles. There's so many of them. I've memorized their locations and what they do, but I do not remember the names of all of them. Alright. Okay, let's dig this pit in right here. So now we can go in and actually do some bicep. So it's a little bit of a give and a little bit of take. Alright, 2 heads. Building up the mass from that angle. Yeah, see how these polygons aren't cooperating? This is where Dynamesh that's what Dynamesh was designed to do. So if I weren't already fighting the resolution, I would Dynamesh this and get clean polygons to sculpt with, but I'm gonna tough this out. And you can see my brushes aren't really behaving very well. I mean they're kind of working, but it's not as good as they usually are. Alright. Refill that back in. And I'm definitely going to have to redo the t-shirt too. Oops, getting some craziness about that joining in right there. So, oh geez, those polygons are not happy. Yeah, see how this is crunched so bad right there? That's not good. Alright, so I'll need to fill that hole in where all those muscles are meeting in, because that is reading way too strong. We want to keep the overall like character of this though, but we don't want it to be so crazy. And once again, it's the clay build-up brush that's really good for this kind of thing. So let's back up a bit. I'm going to focus on the top of the bicep first. Oops. Alright, yeah, you see how this is all lumpy now? Alright, so one thing, I don't like to just leave things lumpy after I smooth them. If it's like this, I try to fix this immediately. So soft polish, BSS, and smaller brush size usually. And you want to be careful with soft polish because it can flatten things out. So make sure you're really that you alternate going along the form and around the form, and that will reduce how much it gets flattened. And if it gets flattened a lot, just go in there and move to recover some of the roundness. So that's smoothing out okay, but that's getting a little chaotic there. Gently smooth this. So I try to avoid smoothing in crevices too much. Or if I do, I get really small brush for that. That way you don't lose all the work that you put into them. Okay, that needs to be polished out. I've already got my S polish out. Good. Yeah, so you can see this is actually starting to flatten out right there a little bit. Oh, this is tough. This arm is not going well. Not happy with this. Global polish. That actually helped things quite a bit. Okay. This right here, I may have to do some Dynamesh because that's never going to work out. Alright, let's do some intense polishing. Man, that's frustrating. That is really gonna... Oh, I lost a lot of the elbow too. Alright, let's get this back. Yeah, so like this arm right here has got to be Dynamesh to be repaired. And one thing I can totally do is absolutely, we could break that off into a subtool and Dynamesh it and then weld these guys back together. But, yeah, let's see here. You know what, why don't we go ahead and just break these up? I'm going to have to definitely do that to do anything with this arm. This arm is it's getting to be deeper and deeper in the weeds, and the sooner I just stop and break it out, I think the better off we're going to do. There it is. I do not know why I can't see renamed today. Orange, okay, I'm just going to go with that. Oh crap, it left the old one, huh? Okay, let's see here. No, no. Split. Okay, split mask points will work too. I don't need that subtool. Alright. Yep. There we go. Mesh is no longer stressed. That's all filled in too. So have you guys played it all with the inflate brush yet? Oh crap, you see this right here? It welded those fingers together. Touch these webbed hands. Alright. So the reason that happens too is you have to remember that voxels are they're three-dimensional pixels basically, and the resolution is too low to preserve the difference between those pixels, or between those fingers. So I'm gonna try and get around that by masking the fingers individually. Maybe that'll work. I don't know. We'll find out. Nope, it didn't work. Oh, this will put seams between everything. Oh, wait, no, it worked, didn't it? Oh, no, that's bad. That separated them, basically. What the? Oh, this must be new. Sub-projection refinement. Okay, that does things to the edges. Interesting. That will have to be played with. Wow, there's some new stuff in here I haven't even... Wow. That will have to be played with. Okay, resolution 56 is too low. What about 80? Okay, 80 worked. 80 did a pretty good job and didn't web. That's good. So basically, like, the lower the resolution, the bigger the voxel that the mesh gets processed through. The larger the resolution, the smaller the voxels. Which, so like if you've got little fine details that you're trying to dynamesh, you're going to need a larger resolution, which will result in more voxels in the same volume. So if you think about it, like if I have a 1 meter by 1 meter cube, you know, how many voxels can I fit in there? So like, you know, the higher the resolution, the more voxels you can fit into that 1 meter cube. All right, so let's see here. Let's have some fun with inflate. Inflate's a fun brush. Let's soften the mask a little bit. I should have used this on the bus too, actually. You want to be real gentle with it though, because it can get like cartoony and clowny real quick like that. See, like that's kind of crazy. Oops, that's not undo. Don't they lay eggs? I mean, you could be really crude there. That's looking too muscular. So this is gonna have to be joined up somehow. Let's see here. Oh boy. Oh boy. I also need to smooth this out so much still. Jeez. This arm has not been very good. Alright, let's lower the intensity even more. Lost a lot of mass in here. There we go. Let's move this around. So, I always struggle a little bit with female deltoids. I always tend to make them a little on the masculine side, so I'm going to try and tone that way down. It's a video game, guys. You can just have her throw eggs for whatever reason you want. And just be like, it's video games. And clay build up again. There we go. That's reading like a little bit of a lip or a ridge. Do want pit there though. It's a little better. Let's see. Move some light around it. Okay. Boy, I would be very careful about splitting up the body like to this degree. One possible way out of this is, let's take a look at the shirt. Yeah, so here's something that we could do is we could actually remesh these arms separate from the body and just use the shirt to hide the seams. That's better than trying to like remesh this in with everything else. So that will be the plan for now. Gosh, I do not like these arms still. That's a little better. Yeah, I know that like realistically, heavier body fat women, you don't really see much muscle definition on them. So maybe we can dial this back a little bit more too. Part of the reason of doing so much anatomy though, like before you just cover it up, is to get it structurally right and structurally sound. And I'm using the Form Soft brush right now, which is a brush I need to probably use a little more often in sculpting. Yeah, you like that morph target thing? That was pretty good. Yeah, that's a little bit longer of a workflow. Did you use the morph brush too? Or just the target? Oops. Let's see here. Why did that get so... There we go. A little bit of underhang there. A bit more round. Okay, yeah, this is looking like a little more chunky, but still we've got like the major structural landmarks there. I will admit, fatter characters are not something that I typically do a lot of. Yeah, so the morph brush will let you sort of paint like what parts are morphing and what parts aren't. It's really cool. Oh geez, I completely lost the radius. Where's the ulna? I think it's the ulna. Let's see. Situation like that, it's best to mask out the bone or the form that you're trying to recover, and then use your tools to get it. And I lost, oh, there's the elbow, it's down there. Let's bring the elbow into this too. I want to get the elbow, make sure it's nice and visible. This is really anatomically incorrect. Let's see if I can fix that up. Alright, starting over. So, if the elbow's down there, yeah, it's fine. Just nudge that up a little bit. Too big. Alright, there we go. Hard polish is great on the elbow. Oh crap, what happened there? I want to see this waviness that's happening here. We want to get rid of that. We want to straighten this out. There we go. Okay. Obviously that's a little strong, but we've at least recovered the form. Round it out a little bit. Yeah, Lightbox can definitely be worth using. Or if you don't have multiple monitors, I mean. Or are you talking about the texturing features of Lightbox? Lightbox is another one of those features that they developed like 5 years ago and completely forgot about. So annoying. Alright, let's see here. Let's zoom out. I'm too close to that. Okay, Clay Builder is the tool for that. Okay, so yeah, you can import light reference drawings with Lightbox, but Lightbox has like a couple of like image editing tools as well. Um, it gets used or used to get used with for texturing, and then Substance Painter came along and completely stole its thunder. So basically, people would use it to bring images in to ZBrush, and then using Lightbox, position the textures over the model, and do things like you can warp the texture with brushes in ZBrush, and so they would do that. So like you bring in like photographs of someone's head and uh, warp them and get them to match your model, and then project them onto the model. But nobody really uses Lightbox for texturing anymore. Or if you need reference, like use a tablet or a phone. Okay, let's soft polish. Not right on the butt though. Let's go along that edge right there. Need to fill that in with a little more meat. Clay buildup again for this right here. Alright. That's really strong looking at it from back here. Alright. Just smooth it. Okay. There we go. It's there. It reads, but I'm not hitting you over the head with it. And there's a nice little strong elbow. What you want, like I said, you want strong forms, strong bony landmarks, even on fat characters. Not 100% happy with those arms, but I think it's important to move on to a little bit of the head. Gonna have to cut it out here soon, though. Yeah, we've been going for over an hour so far. So let's take a quick look at the head. All right. Double chin. So the one thing I'll say is I think she's got some rooster forms on this chicken. I don't know that female chickens have the red stuff on around the beak and on their head. I could be wrong. I am totally open to being completely wrong on that. What's that? Yeah, maybe she got some special hormones from the farm, because they do that, they pump these poor chickens full of all sorts of crap. Oh, you okay? Oh. So my wife pointed out that the part of the problem I'm having is that the deltoid, like it inserts halfway down the humerus, and the humerus is really short, so basically the deltoid is sort of disproportionate. She's right. I totally overlooked that. The other thing is that, yeah, I'm not happy with this hierarchy here. Looking at it from the side, there's this is a big round form, and this is really small. This should come out, and it should be a lot bigger as far as the volume of that goes. I'm gonna see if I can do something about that real quick, just with the move brush. Let me mask, because this will be destructive. Oops, that was Dynamesh. Yeah, once again, it's just kind of making her look like stronger. It's tough. This is a tough one, Angela. Good luck. Alright. Trying to dial back the deltoids. Oh, that was Dynamesh again. Oh, geez, that just totally flattened that out. Let's see. Okay. It's a little better. It's not perfect though. This is a tough one. Gosh. I don't do this type of character very often. Like ever, actually. Okay. The head. So the head, you're going to want to do the same thing. You're going to want to mask things off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the lasso and I'm going to mask off the head so that we can get a double chin. And I'm going to mask out the chest too. Oops. Alright. And we'll just use inflate for this. I think. Let's see. Yep, this will work. So take a couple of passes. Really exaggerate it. Actually, let's back out real quick, undo all that, and soften the mask before we do this. It's part of the problem. Thought it was anyway, jeez. Let's see. No, inflate's not cooperating. I thought inflate would be a good brush for that. Let's do form soft. Okay, so what's happening here is, like, you see I'm brushing here and it's pulling from the top down. So we have to adjust where the brush is sitting on the mesh to use this. So where is that at? Surface. No, it's not surface. It's depth. Okay. So this shows you basically, like, this little black line here, that's your polygonal surface, and this is where the brush intersects with the surface. So if I pull that up higher, basically when I apply my brush, it's only going to go that deep in, so it won't pull through to the other side. See? Not pulling through anymore. Maybe inflate will work if I fix that too. Yeah, see, inflate is laying right on top of it. So if I bring it up like that, there we go. That works better. That's working how I was expecting it to. Again, just really be willing to work it in stages. And I see that this neck